nice jacket you got there.
Thanks, man. It's
What
cold
is
out.
that? Is that
Which
wolf?
one? I got 3 jackets on.
Oh, what's the middle one?
The middle layer is it's horses.
Horse hair?
Not horse hair.
No,
it's like
okay.
horses on it. I'm not a fucking animal. I'm a monster.
You're not an animal.
I'm an animal lover.
Animal lover. I love you. You look nice and toasty right now.
Like warm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lukas Mateus, everybody. Guys, welcome back.
Oh, is this?
We're
I thought we were just talking.
No, I mean, that's what a podcast is, isn't it? I don't know. What is a podcast to you? You were like the first comedian in like our scene, I think, really to start.
I'm sure
one.
somebody was doing something, but I just started in a podcast during COVID because it was like the only thing to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like embarrassed doing it, you know, because like when you're in the comedy world, it's like that's the thing that like people will like make fun of you about, like, oh, who does he think he is, you know? But whatever.
So it started off as a solo show, didn't it?
Yeah.
Do you prefer the solo shows over
I
guest shows?
haven't done that since California.
Oh,
but,
really?
Like I at first I did, but really I think I was just delusional. Like if I listen back to those, they're probably terrible and embarrassing. But at the time I was like, yeah, I can like rant for an hour. And it's like, no, you can't. No, you can't, Lucas. No, you can't.
So when you first started doing it, when you first started and you started like doing these rants, was there a point eventually where you were like, all right, I'm gonna have to like write some stuff down so I can like remind myself what I'm talking about?
Well, I'd always have like bullet points on like my phone or something of like things that I knew that I wanted to talk about. So I always did that, but it just was never. I don't know.
Do you do that style on stage too? At all?
Sometimes, but not like. I don't ever go up on stage with just like, you know, the like President Trump like as like a point to talk about politics or President Trump. Like, if I have something to say about Trump, it's like a joke that I
have
thought of like in the car and then like either remembered it or like jotted it down or something. But yeah, not just like, here's my bullet points, I'm gonna go up and just write on stage.
Yeah, I tried to do that last week. It did not work.
We're
at fives. It was not good. I was like, I'm pretty sure.
What would you do? Like you had some words, just like
I literally
subject.
So I had like the subject, and then like throughout the day, I was like, I had some things that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring up, you know, or whatever, see if I can like turn it into something. It did not work. I am not an improv joke guy. Like,
well, I mean, what? That was the first time you did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it again.
Yeah, I guess so. Just bomb every time.
Well, eventually you'll get something, right? Maybe. Yeah. Ideally.
When you're doing those solo shows, did you ever listen back to them?
I'm pretty sure I did. Like at first, before I moved to California, we did the podcast for like a year, and I would listen to all the episodes.
Oh wow!
And then once I moved to California, I did a couple in California by myself. I did a couple with like some people, comedians that I met when I lived out there. And I don't think I ever listened to those. I think that's when it started. Like I don't really, I'll like now on the podcast, we have like video and stuff too. James, you know, does all that. And now I have a new phone. So really like the reason the podcast was just an audio podcast before was because I
didn't have the equipment.
I don't have the equipment, and I don't know how to do any of that stuff, and I don't really care. But now that I have a phone that is better, and it has the feature on it where you can like record what you're looking at on your phone. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, like the screen capture.
Yeah. So I can I just watch the video on Spotify, and then I'll record like parts that I find funny or whatever.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then I can like put that into whatever TikTok and edit it.
I feel like I have a few episodes that I've gone back and like watched because I enjoyed the ambiance, or I go back trying to figure out how we got to that point where I was like, why was it so fucking funny, dude?
That's why you got to listen back to them, you know? Because,
Yeah.
like, if you had a good time recording it and there's funny moments, you should remember that. And
Yeah.
then you can, maybe there's something there. If you're doing stand-up. If you're just a podcaster, I guess.
Yeah,
you know, whatever.
yeah. I feel like that's like one of the things that I have always had issues with, like taking things that like I've done out in like the real world. Well, and the other thing is too is that like especially since I hang out with a lot of comedians, it's almost like the whole intellectual property thing. It kind of fucks me up sometimes because I'm like, who technically has claim to like what we're talking about? Because you might have somebody who like brings up an idea like in a chat or something like that, and you guys are like chatting, and then person C says something that's fucking awesome, and it's like it would fit perfectly in that, but they said it. And
These are other comedians you're talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just ask them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard people do, like, who was it? Somebody said, people have done this to me multiple times since I've been doing stand-up.
Or they'll be like, I'm taking that.
Not, I'm taking that. They'll ask. They'll be like, oh, hey, that was funny.
I've never had people like, you have a lot.
Can I, like, do you mind if I say that in something? I forget who it was, but it was recent. Here in Columbus, somebody said that. And I'm always just like, yeah, like, we're not.
Yeah.
If someone wants to steal a joke that they've seen me do on stage and go do it on stage themselves, have at it. Like, I mean, whatever.
Highest form
it's
of
not
flattery,
it's not gonna make your career.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden,
what if it did?
If
it
did, I would find that fucking hilarious. Like that's the story of my life.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
that would be so fucking crazy. Like if the one joke that you've been like trying to crack for fucking like 3 years, it's like your fucking bread and butter. You're like, I love this joke, I'll never get rid of it, and then someone hears you do it.
Yeah.
You do an outside or out of town show.
Yeah.
Or you
Nobody
just clip it.
I can't believe people at an open mic level even there's like talk of stealing jokes. Like that's crazy embarrassing.
I think it's a part of like the delusion, like the
I don't think it's
egotistical.
happening. I think people listen to like a Joe Rogan podcast where he has a comedian on there and they go down memory lane, you know, and they're like, I did this spot, and like it makes people who are doing open mic comedy kind of think they're living that life.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't understand. Like, and that's kind of the part that bothers me about listening to very successful comedians talk about the good old days, is they never really talk about like what we do open mic levels. Like we're at some shitty bar with 37 comics and like you get to do 2 minutes. They talk about like open mic nights at like clubs, like as they've already been kind of established. Like they don't really, unless it was different in the 80s or something,
or
90s.
maybe it's like in their mind the story doesn't get interesting until that
true.
First, yeah.
But like it's just very, it like makes them, people who like us who are doing open mics, and to me when you listen to it,
discouraging.
And if you're dumb, you think that you're living that same life. It's like no, those dudes were like already established. Like they're already at like, you know, like Henry Allen, that he's at like that level of like what they're talking about, where he gets spots at like major clubs on major shows. And
it's actually because I mean I've worked at a club for 6 years and I have been asked to do one spot, and
but you were working there like you were working like the dirty shit. Like you were doing like the real work.
Serving.
And but they don't like can we talk about that club? Do you still work there? Does that matter?
Or I don't know if I technically still worked. I don't think I'm not working there anymore.
That place doesn't really seem to care about feeding the local scene, you know. So
and that was kind of like that's the whole point of like getting the job. You know what I mean? It's like that's like the dream. It's like to be a comedian, then work at a club.
But then I think that's another example because I did the same thing. I worked there 2 different times. I think that's the delusion that you listen to a podcast and they say, I got a job at the store, I got a job at the Improv. And then, those places feed, it's like a farm system. That's what the whole point of getting a job there is. Yeah. The Funny Bone and a lot of other places.
It's kind of like Go Bananas. You ever been?
Yeah, Go Bananas is good for that too. But places like places like that are chains, like the Cheesecake Factories of comedy stores, of comedy clubs, is Funny Bone. And they don't like care about that kind of stuff, helping you out or doing whatever.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was, I mean, because, you know, back when I first started, we didn't really do any of the showcases. and then it was rumored that they were coming back, and I was like,
What are you talking about?
Like the club showcases where they do the big room and
Like
everybody
for the open mic, like where you can do like a bringer show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so like we didn't have that like right when I started. It didn't happen until like later, but that. I mean, as a new comedian, that was kind of awesome. You know, I don't know, getting on a few showcases. But I also feel like what you were saying, there's kind of like an illusion that like, oh, I'll do some of these, someone's gonna see it, and then they're like, oh, hey, I like your stuff, and then
that camera's on me.
Yeah. I don't know if he switched it. I hope he did.
You were saying?
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there is kind of like an illusion where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do a spot at this club, and then the manager, because even when I got asked to do, when they called me and they're like, hey, nobody else is here, like, can you save us? And I was like, yeah, finally, I've been asked. And then he didn't even watch it. I was like, damn.
Yeah. That, you know, I don't know.
It happens.
What to say about the funny, but it's not like it's not even on my radar.
Yeah,
as a thing that's an option. You know,
I don't know. I feel like there's still like a child, like the child comedian in me is like still like has like some. It's like kind of like God.
Yeah.
Like when you're like a Christian and then you stop becoming a Christian, there's still kind of like, you might not like believe in it, but there's still kind of like a reverence that you have because you know about the system or whatever. So. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I love the Funny Bone. I feel like I wish that they did more for the locals.
Yeah, it'd be great. You know,
you said you worked there 2 different times.
Yeah, just running food.
Yeah.
You know.
What was you?
I don't remember what year. I mean, it was like right when I started doing stand up, so it had to be like 2015 or 16, like around there. And I ran food. I was always working at Costco, so like I had a full-time job and would then do that, and I just can't, you know, I just couldn't keep doing it, just like too tired all the time because I work at like 6 a.m, so I'm
getting off until,
and it's like I'm missing doing open mics, so it's like I'm missing doing the thing. I guess I get to watch it and see it.
Yeah, but then even then, and that's something that I always talked about, like when I started, is that if you're a new comedian and you don't really know like how to do comedy, like that itself is a whole nother thing that like fucks you up, because you see all these famous people who are going up to people who paid to see them specifically, like, you know what I mean? It's like there's like super fans for all these comedians, and they go to every show or whatever. Anytime they come into town, they always go to see them, and it's like, so they're coming to see them, so it's like they can go up and just be like, and everybody's like, ah! And they like lose their minds. And so then you're like, oh wow, that's what comedy is. And then you go and do comedy and you're like, oh wow, I can't just go up there and just say something and then
those people you're describing are like the famous. That's like, you know,
I mean, famous people don't really come through the Funny Bone.
No, but I mean like people, like I saw Chris Kattan from SNL at the Funny Bone once, and like, who the fuck cares about Chris Kattan? But like 2 friends of mine wanted to go for some reason, so they bought tickets and I went with them. And he like didn't really do stand up. I've seen a couple of those SNL guys. They don't really do stand up. They just like tell old stories about like Chris Farley or like old stories about being on SNL.
Yeah,
and
you have that too.
Yeah. And then they'll do their like catchphrase, whatever it was, you know. Like,
that the Marcelo guy, he looks like he's doing pretty good. Yeah. Right now.
I actually know him from, I was on that Funny Bone contest with him in like 2016 or 15. What again? Like right when I started doing stand-up.
Is he from here?
No, he's from Miami, but then he went to college in Cleveland.
Oh.
And I met him in Cleveland at an open mic once when I went up there right when I started doing stand-up. And when I say met him, I mean like I was sitting at a table with a couple of other comedians that I knew from Cleveland, and he came over and he's like really young, and he did the awkward thing of like kind of like poking his head like in the conversation. And I'm not against like people joining the conversation. It wasn't that vibe, like get out of here, kid. But it was just, he was being weird, you know what I mean? Like we were all sitting at this table talking at the bar waiting for the mic to start, and he came up and like poked his head in, like didn't say anything and then left. Yeah. And then Yeah, him and this other girl from Cleveland that are really funny did the Funny Bone competition one year. We were both on. We all like advanced to the second round, and then I forget who won. But
was he good?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I saw him. I was on another competition thing with him in Cleveland. He's always like been really funny at stand up.
Nice.
I saw him when I was in California at the Comedy Store. He wasn't performing, but it was one night. I was there hanging out, and he was there, and we were like standing right next to each other, and I was like, it was like awkward because it's weird when somebody is like famous now.
Yeah.
Especially
when you didn't really know him.
Yeah, it's like we weren't friends. He didn't. I don't think. I'm sure he knew my name, but he did because when he was standing there, I was like, I turned to him. I was like, hey, man, like I don't know if you remember me, but like I'm from Columbus, and he's like, he immediately remembered me. He's like, yeah, like
Nice.
And he asked me if I knew where a good club was, and I was like a comedy club, and which I thought was weird because we were at the Comedy Store. We're like standing on the Comedy Store thing. And he's like, "Where's a good club at?" And I was like a comedy club, and he's like, "No, like a dance club." And I was like, "Oh, dude, I don't know. I'm fucking 37. What are you asking me for? I have no idea."
Oh, and when was this?
That made me feel cool.
That was when you were
2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That made me feel cool.
Damn,
that
so
this guy on SNL.
40?
I'm gonna be 40 this year. Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It made me feel cool that this guy on SNL was asking me.
Yeah.
Where the nightlife was.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, mine isn't like as I haven't seen him that often, but like I remember when I saw Cam Patterson do an open mic at Savor Pint one time, and he jumped on a table, and I was like, wow, that guy.
Why was he doing open mic at Savor Pint?
Because he was on a Don't Tell show here in Columbus, and so
he was already had blown up at that point.
I guess is Don't Tell like blown up at that point? Because I don't think he wasn't on Kill Tony yet.
Are you
I don't
sure?
think
because I
maybe not.
I know that James told me that all those like Kill Tony guys came here once, and I don't know if they came here on one Don't Tell show, or if it was just like throughout their hype, like they've had a lot of Kill Tony comics on Don't Tell in Columbus. I don't know.
So it was when Halima was still in town. So that it was like I don't know how many years, 3-4 years ago. So like so because but they were here. It was him and Tony Wellens or something like that. They came from Florida, and they did that open mic, and he jumped on a table, and I was like, that's crazy. I've never seen somebody do that in an open mic. But I mean, most of the time you're on a stage, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I always hear stories. I really wish I could have seen it, but I always hear stories about when Peter Brook won the funniest person, and he did it. One of the jokes that he used was like a pterodactyl joke, and he like box jumped from the floor to the top of the stool, like no hand, just jumped up and just started. It's hard to win those things. Like you can do super well like in the first like 2 rounds, and then the third round you think you're doing super good, and then I
feel like competitions are fun because you get to be on stage in front of a bunch of people you don't know typically because people bring but it's hard to win them. I don't know. I won the Attic did like a fight for the feature contest. It was like there was like 2 rounds, like you did the one main and then the main event round, and I won it, and I had good sets both times. Like I'm not gonna like say I didn't deserve it, but I also both times of like 12 people from work came out to the show, and a lot of it was based on the votes from. They had like some app set up. It was like based on like the votes. So basically, but it wasn't a bringer show. You didn't have to bring people to even be on.
It's kind of like the Go Bananas, like the Cincinnati funniest person.
Yeah, they're all the same. Yeah. That's my point. Like they're all like if you bring a bunch of people, there's a good chance you'll come close to winning. Yeah. Not that you don't deserve it. I mean, like, if you bomb and you bring 30 people are still gonna like be like, no, you know what I mean? If you bombed, it's just
like you bring your friends in, like I don't know, dude. Like Jimmy was cool, but bro, that Tom guy, I'm gonna vote for him number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I told
Do you do lots of competitions?
No, because I don't like
bring people.
I don't bring people. Not to say that That's not true though, because like every time I've ever, like in California, is the time where I know nobody, right? So I move out there, I don't know anybody. The people I work with, I don't know anybody. I'm just out there with just my girlfriend. Like I don't know anybody, and just through the people I work with, every time I did these shows at the Haha Comedy Club, they were like bringer type shows. I would bring I brought like 10 people the first time and like 15 people the next time, and they gave me extra time the second time because I brought so much people,
Oh, nice.
So it was like I can get people to come to shows, but it's just like people I work with.
Yeah.
But not that matters. Like you don't know that. Like the comedian on stage who doesn't know them doesn't know.
Yeah.
Those are Lucas's friends. They're just people that you don't know. That's the good thing about a competition, because usually people bring, they like get their coworkers to come out and
they get to just watch comedy and not.
So, but
how was LA? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Why'd you move back?
Because it's fucking expensive. Like I'm gonna be 40, and it's just like I'm tired of living like I'm 22.
Mm-hmm. Just
like,
lots of work.
Yeah. There's nothing to show for it.
Like what's the price range? Like I don't like. Were you in like a nice part of town or like a shitty like?
It seemed nice to me.
Dude,
I mean, but like, it's not. It's not. It's like, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been
Beverly Hills.
Have you ever been to LA or like New York City or anything?
No.
It's like these places are urban, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like they're city. It's like city life. So it's different for like us here in Ohio. Like you live in like a kind of urban like city life area. But if you live in the suburbs in Ohio, it's like quiet. At nighttime, it's quiet. If you hear noise, it's strange. You know what I mean? Like if you hear like stuff getting like pushed around or someone pushing a shopping cart down the street, you would like notice that in the suburbs. And so
here
like,
we have to here we're like, was that fireworks or was that a good shot?
And that's where I lived in California. It was like that. Like some guy got shot and killed across the street from my apartment by the cops. Like some guy died of like fentanyl overdose or something. We had like where you pulled into our parking lot. He died there because I came home from work one day and they had the tent out. And I saw the body. It's like they had his body covered up, and then there was like a memorial there for him the next following months. So like I guess it wasn't nice, but it wasn't like dangerous.
Yeah.
There wasn't like gangbangers rolling around my street.
So dude, somebody literally got arrested in front of my house like 2 weeks ago, like at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Some dude that was out for like I think domestic assault or some shit like that, and I don't know exactly the situation, but I'll tell you this: I came home from a holiday party that day, and my hands were fucking full of shit. And when I kicked the door closed, I didn't kick it all the way closed, so it was like shut, but it was like not latched. So he could have, if the guy would have just like come up the stairs, like, and I'm saying like he was like 5 feet like on the bottom of the stairs. Like if he would have just pushed the door, he would have been inside the house, and then there would have probably been a shittier situation going on. But yeah, it was that shit happens all the time, and fucking helicopter going through the backyard and everything. And but yeah, so LA was fun. Lots of time there.
I think I got one of your pubes stuck in my throat. Or something.
I hope so. After you got done sucking this ween, dude. He's a chicken man, but he loves the ween.
So what's like the angle of this podcast? What are you doing? Are you interviewing me?
Yeah, we're just talking. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Yeah. I
you seem like you're nervous talking to me. You okay?
I have a lot of respect for you, Lucas.
You shouldn't.
You're like a 40-year-old man who, you've been doing comedy for so long. I don't know how to even react around you or act, I'm just nervously poking my head, hoping that I can join this conversation.
I'm just your regular, everyday, guy.
Yeah.
God.
What made you start doing comedy in the first place?
Stuck in my fucking throat. What made me start doing comedy?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Because you aren't a very
funny guy. I know.
No, you're
you're not very funny.
You're funny. You're just not. You're not like you don't talk to people a lot, and maybe
I'm not good at networking.
Okay.
Like
you kind of keep to yourself though. Like
that's what I'm saying. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
like. not a networker.
Okay.
Networking means like when you're at an open mic,
Yeah,
you're fucking talking to everybody, schmoozing people,
Yeah.
helping people with jokes. And like I do that all the time. Don't get me wrong. I don't go out to an open mic and just sit in a corner and don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I go say hi to everybody that I want to say hi to or whatever. And
you do seem more like social now.
No, I definitely am. Yeah, that's the thing. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of stuff doing stand up in LA. Like it wasn't a mistake moving out there. You know, like I did learn a lot.
Okay.
And one of the things I learned was like networking, and it's like I'm not good at it. I don't have a big friend group, and I'm okay with that. Like I have, you know what I mean? Like in like real life, I have like a few friends, and I barely even see them. Like I barely hang out with them. You know, like it's just, I don't know. I've always been that way. I've never had a bunch of friends. I've never been like the popular person, but I'm also not like sad about that. I think some people get sad about not being popular.
And then one day you decided, I'm gonna get on stage in front of.
The reason I wanted to do stand up, I've been thinking about this, is because when I lived in Chicago, I worked at Trader Joe's, and I worked with Josh Johnson, who's that like comedian that's like on the Daily Show and shit now. And he was starting to do stand up, and he worked with me, and like I remember specifically like I never thought he was funny. Like we'd be like stocking shelves, and I never thought he was like funny. He'd be like trying to be funny. But then we would start talking about like working out, and that's like where we connected because he like went to the gym and I'd go to the gym, so we just like talked about lifting weights.
Oh wow!
And then he would, he'd be like, "Come to this open mic, like come watch me do stand up, come to my show, like come to this open mic." And I was always like, "No man," like I was into like music.
You're telling me that Josh Johnson was the person that started
no. This is just where it starts.
Okay.
This is where it starts. I was always
that would be kind of a crazy story.
I was always doing like music and stuff. I was in like punk bands and shit in Chicago. So comedy wasn't even like I didn't even know that you could just do an open mic. You know what I mean? I had been to the Improv in Hollywood at that time, but just when I visited California, visit my friends, and he'd be like, "Hey, I know a guy at the Improv. You want to go to see a comedy show?" And I'd be like, "Sure, sounds gay. Let's go." You know, like I wasn't like a stand up guy.
Yeah.
But I'd seen shows like the Improv, so like I'd seen like real professional comedians, but I did not care about it. Like we saw Jeff Ross do. He practiced his like Roseanne roast jokes that he was doing for the Roseanne roast on like MTV. Mm-hmm. He practiced them at the Improv, and I remember seeing that and being like, "Oh yeah, I know who Roseanne is. I don't know who Jeff Ross is, but like, you know what I mean? Like now, if I saw that now, I'd be like, this is fucking cool. Like I'm seeing like this guy get prepared for like something that I'm gonna see
on TV later. Yeah.
Back then, I was just like, whatever. You know, I have like fucking Mr.
That's
Cool
crazy.
Guy. But so then Josh would be like, come to this open mic. I'd be like, no. And then I moved to New York from Chicago.
Damn, why are you moving all these big ass cities?
Because I can, you know.
What draws you to the big cities? Because it seems like I mean Columbus is probably the smallest.
Anybody can move to Chicago, New York, LA. People are like, why'd you do that? It's crazy. It's like, you have a kid, but like if you don't have kids, what is really holding you back?
Well, yeah, but
if you're not a fucking loser or a bum or like a drug addict, just get your shit together. But hold on, get your shit together. Get a job and just move. Like, shut up. Stop being like, oh my God, how'd you do that? Just like, it's not hard.
Not how you did it, but like, if I was going to move to another city, it would be to either further along, either something that I thought would be further along.
And that's when I told my mom I wanted to move to Chicago, she like got mad at me because she's like, people only move places when they have job opportunities. And I was just like, I was like 22 or something. I'm just like, well, I want to move to Chicago because I have a friend there, and like I've been there to see bands play, and it's fun, and I want to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Chicago's cool. It's a cool city, so I wanted to like live. I mean, like when
city.
you go to a place and you're having a good time, you don't want to leave. You're like, this is cool. I could, you know, like if you're with your girlfriend or your friends, you'd be like, I could see myself like getting coffee here, doing this, like so you just do it, and then. I know that sounds like so privileged thing to say, but it's not even a privileged thing. I just had a job since forever. I mean, I've had a job since I was 15, And at that point, I'd been working at Trader Joe's for like 5 years, and I've making good money. Again, no kids, single. Like I'm not a drug addict. I don't have like a spending problem. I didn't go to. Here's the thing. I didn't go to college, so I don't have a bunch of debt.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm privileged in that sense. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like.
So you're just going. You're just like on a whim going to these places. Because
Well,
LA,
no,
because LA, you moved for comedy, right?
So here, we gotta get back on track. Bobby, you got to keep us on track. He's like asleep over there. Listen, we're talking about why I started doing stand up. So
yeah.
The reason I moved to places is because I had a job that could afford me to move to places. Okay. But I moved to Chicago from Columbus originally because I wanted to go there because I like Chicago and I had friends there and I like the music scene there, and that's that. You know, I'm just hanging out as a 20-something year old, you know,
kid,
being cool and going to see bands play and just doing that shit. And then New York, I've always wanted to live in New York. Like if I could have gone to New York first, that's where I would have gone. So I had friends again that lived in New York, and they were like, hey, you should come live with us. I was like, my girlfriend in Chicago, we like broken up, so I wasn't, again, nothing holding me to Chicago. And my friends had an opportunity where I could come, you know, live with them, and we'll split the rent. And I can just transfer again with Trader Joe's. That's a good thing. Like, you know, I like working at some corporate place because you can just transfer.
Yeah.
Like, it might not be punk rock. It might not be cool. You know? But, like, I have so many friends who are, like, these punk dudes with, like, tattoos and shit. And, like, they all only work at, like, tattoo shops or bartenders. And, like, they will only do that forever. And I'm just like, dude, I know that, like, we're fuck the system. But, like, dude, I got insurance. You know? I think I got, like, psoriasis. I'm going to go get that taken care of. You know? Like, I'm not gonna. These are like good things you can do in life.
You have insurance through your jobs and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, everybody's fucking killing CEOs over insurance. Just go get a job.
Yeah.
Just go get a job that gives it to you, and then the problem's solved. Leave the fucking CEOs alone.
Dude, that's so funny.
But I moved to New York, okay, and like 3 or 4 months later, Josh Johnson transfers from Trader Joe's Chicago to the same Brooklyn store that I'm working at.
Oh,
so
wow.
we work together again. And that's when I saw somebody I know come and start from doing nothing, and like, because he moved to New York and worked at Trader Joe's for like 3 months and immediately got some job writing at I want to say Fallon. I think that was his first thing, his first like gig, his first big thing was like a writer for Jimmy Fallon.
Oh wow!
On the Tonight Show, and he quit Trader Joe's, and I was like, whoa. My fucking mind was like, I was like, whoa! I was like,
you could just do that.
I was like, everybody I know is a loser, and like they all play music, but they're all still fucking just losers. You know, I love them, but like me too. I'm a loser. Like we're all losers together. I've never met anybody who would like set out to do something, got good at it, and like is getting respect for it now.
Yeah.
You know, like getting a paid job. And I was like, oh, you can like make money off of doing stand up? Like I didn't really, I mean, duh, obviously, but I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And we stayed friends. Like I went and saw Josh do like a couple bar shows in New York and stuff, and like my girlfriend, you know, we all work together, like we all know him, and but I still never did stand up. But New York, I only lived there for a little bit, and because I couldn't afford it, and so I came back to Columbus. And before I came back, do you know Tucker Lappy?
Yeah,
he's on the podcast with me now, and he used to do stand up here in Columbus, but he doesn't do stand up anymore. He does like music, but he's been my friend for like over 20 years. And I texted him when I was moving back, and I was like, hey, moving back to Columbus, and I was like, have you ever done stand up? And he was like, yeah, I actually like did an open mic once, like. And I was like, I think I kind of want to like try it. And he's like, yeah, like I'll do it with you when you move back. So when I moved back is when I started.
Okay.
And I guess you could say it was like because of Josh Johnson. Like it was because I saw
somebody. He's chasing.
I saw somebody do something and do it well and get respect for it, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
you know?
And then you're like, I'm so sick and tired of playing in these 16-year-olds' houses. on college campuses.
I really did.
You're talking to somebody and you're like, so what are you into? And they're like, oh, I'm a junior. And you're like, okay, we're leaving.
When I lived in Chicago, the band I was in, one of the bands I was in, we really did play a show in Indiana, and it was like a suburban neighborhood. It was a cul-de-sac fucking neighborhood in Indiana, right outside Chicago. The parents were there. They were like taking money at the basement door.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was in their basement, but it was like a legit like fucking like hardcore punk show. There was like people there, and people were like moshing in their basement. Like it was, I was like, this is good. The kid was, I don't know, the parents were cool.
Yeah, a lot of times I would go and it would be not that. It would be some dude, group of kids who are renting a house for college.
Here on campus or something.
Yeah.
Like a dirty punk house on campus. Yeah, that's more the typical house show scene. It wasn't really a suburban.
A lot of them are into like, oddly occult and satanic shit. Like
what? What do you mean?
Just like a lot of these punk houses, like they're just so anti-system.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing about like dark music, metal, punk, even like, dark hip hop. It's like violent.
Yeah.
It's,
But it's like they're singing about.
That's what we like.
They're not.
What do you want to sing about? Birds and Jesus and
you guys
happy sunshines. You're a dad. I get it. You gotta be. You gotta be positive.
But I don't know. I feel like the punk stuff is just like complaining.
It is, and it's look. I'm embarrassed that I'm into that kind of music, especially because like I don't want to see old guys playing punk music. I want to see like angsty kids playing it.
Yeah.
Like that to me is what the music's for.
Yeah.
So the fact that I still like it, it's like cringy. Like when I go to a show, if I do, it's weird. I feel weird.
I always see that guy that pops up. He has like that reel out there. He's like sitting in his car. He's like 50, and he's like I remember I was in all these punk bands. Back in all these people are like fuck the government and everything. He's like, now you work for the fucking government. He's like, what the fuck happened to us?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Now you're working at fucking
just a cog in the system.
Yeah, dude, a chicken
system.
man. Yeah. You like that? You like you talk about chickens typically like
because it's my reality, bro.
That's your reality.
Like whatever. Here's the thing I learned. Look, I don't.
This
Jeff,
is old knowledge right here.
This is good knowledge.
Yeah.
Here, maybe Jeff Ladala. Columbus alcoholic legend. Columbus drug addict legend. Just for your listeners maybe who don't know, he's a stand-up comedian that doesn't really do stand-up anymore because he can't get himself anywhere. He's drunk all the time. But man. I started working when I started working at Costco. I worked with him, and that's where I met Jeff. And he has been working there longer than I have, obviously. And Jeff's like whole persona is like he's the shit. He's like, I'm the shit. I'm thug. I'm this. I'm like, even though it's like he's obviously a mess, obviously ridiculous looking, obviously ridiculous acting. You know what I mean? Like everything about him is like ridiculous in like a funny way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah.
In a good funny way. But like nobody wishes they were like Jeff Ladala. You know what I mean? I mean, joking around sense. But that's the thing that I took that I like from him is like, yeah, this job sucks, but like I'm gonna talk about how I'm the shit at it. And like,
now that I think about it, I do that shit all the time at work too.
Yeah,
where I'm always
you
like,
get pissed at work when someone does something you don't like,
and people will be like Eddie, good job. And like, I know.
Yeah, you're
like, it's like you don't need to tell me.
No, it's, but that. I mean,
that's an interesting.
I don't like to give advice because I think it's gay. Like, like, who am I to give anybody advice? Yeah. But I think if you do work some shitty job, like, you just have to understand, like, everybody that works there with you also hates it. Like, we're all in the same boat together. So, like, don't come to work with a bad attitude. Don't be that shithead that's like, fucking, like, everybody. It's like, shut up. We're all here. So, like, shut the fuck up. Like I like when I come in the morning, I'm like the first person there, and it's like me and two other people. So like if your first thing you say to me is like "ooh," like it's like, dude, shut up.
Do you even speak English? You fucking bitch.
No, like I don't want to sound like I'm trying to like run bits on you, but because I did this once on stage, but this old guy I work with, I came in one morning. He'd been on vacation for like 2 weeks, so I hadn't seen him. And it was his first day back, my first day seeing him. And I was like, oh, hey, Don, like, how's vacation? I didn't have to ask him that. I could have just been like, good morning. I could have just ignored him. I could have just been an asshole like everybody else. You know, but I'm like, how's it going? Or how was your vacation? He's like, oh, my friend died. And I'm just like, I'm like, cool, dude.
Damn.
It's fucking 6 o'clock in the morning.
Dude,
and like,
yeah.
And then I like, what do you want me to say to that? I'm supposed to now sit here and ask you about it, even though I don't care.
Yeah.
And like, you're old, so it's like all your friends are dying. I'm sure you're like fucking 60 years old. It's just like all these. It's like that's why I just don't even want to ask. Like,
yeah, 'cause you're just gonna get some shit. Oh man, no, that's.
But just have a good attitude at work.
That's so funny.
Everybody's job sucks. Nobody has a good time. Nobody's like, even the people you think are like, oh, why is that guy so happy to be here? He's not happy to be here. He's just, it's life.
Yeah.
So that's why chickens is my reality, man. I got to talk about it on stage, you know?
What's your favorite part about doing, like, cause I'm sure you just are roasting them, right?
What, making the chickens?
Yeah.
The best part about working in the rotisserie chicken room, I mean, I don't know how it is for any other grocery store, but at least where I work, if you're good at your job, people just leave you alone. Like managers, you know. So like if you are that, like I'm quiet and I'm like to myself, and like I can have a fucking speaker back there, listen to music all day while I'm skewering chickens. So if you're just good at your job and you don't fuck up, then everybody just leaves you alone, and you can do the same thing every day. And it's like hard physical work, but if you're not a bitch, then you know.
That was gonna be my next question. Is it like what makes it hard?
I mean, every single box of chickens weighs like over 50 pounds, so
Okay.
50, 60 pounds. So you're lifting those all day long. And then when you put the chickens on the skewer, that itself weighs like 35, 40 pounds. So you're like lifting that all day long. You know what I mean? It's just that kind of stuff. And like I said, if you can be a schlub about it and just be like sloppy and like not have chickens out on time and be out of chickens and have people waiting. But if you're good at your job, you're going to stay on top of things, which then that requires the speed, the strength, you know.
What did you do at Trader Joe's?
Everybody does everything at Trader Joe's.
Okay.
That when I got fired from Trader Joe's, I worked at like a couple other like fucking jerk off spots.
Why'd you get fired?
For stealing bread, actually. Dude,
No.
Dude, I worked at Trader Joe's for 12 years. Not even joking, I stole every single shift. Like every time I worked, I would steal food. Whether it just be my lunch or like when I lived in Chicago, New York, I would ride my bike and stuff to work, and I had like a big like bag, like a big like bag from, you know, biking and stuff, because I go to the gym or whatever. So like the day before I have my days off, I would carry my like big bag, and I would not put anything in it, so it'd be empty, and I would just leave it in the back. And throughout the day, I would just like take stuff and put it in my bag.
Whoa.
Just like spaghetti sauce, meat, you know, whatever.
Just taking home whole
Laundry
dinners.
detergent, all my. Like anybody I ever lived with, we always had toilet paper and paper towels, because I just like stole that shit from Trader Joe's.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
and like anybody who would come through my line when I'm on register, even if I vaguely knew you, I would always like not ring stuff up.
Ooh.
You know, like I would do that all. I guess so many people. So the point is, they eventually caught me. You know,
And they caught you with the bread.
yeah, it was because this manager didn't like me because he was a pervert, and like I had heard multiple different times where he like cornered girls in the different parts of the store that we worked at, because the store we worked at had like different levels.
Like employees or
Yeah,
customers?
yeah, employees.
Oh wow, even still
And
bad, but
I heard it from 3 different girls, and they were all 3 different girls that also liked me, you know, and like that I like hung out with. That he, you know, you could just tell it like drove him nuts. And I think he was always looking for a reason to like catch me doing something. And I remember I specifically saw it. I was going down the aisle. I got like a bag of chips and and some bread, and I had like there was like peanut butter and jelly in the fridge or something, so I was just gonna use that and make a sandwich, you know, whatever. And as I was grabbing the chips off the shelf to head down to the break room, I saw him like poke his head around like the corner of one of the aisles, but like I just thought he was just walking around kind of doing. But I saw him, and I was like, It's like I'm so stupid thinking about it now, but I was just like, that's funny. And then go downstairs. The break room's downstairs. I go downstairs and I'm in the breaker meeting, which I rarely ever do. I mostly left on my break because you got an hour lunch break at that place. So I normally go down the street and get something to eat. But I'm down there, and managers never come down to the break room, like ever. Unless they're like setting up for something, but they're never down there. But then he comes down there, and he just like makes a lap around the table and just like says hey to people and acts like he's kind of like doing shit. But also that's weird. Again, I'm like, that's funny that he's down here. And then when I came back from lunch, they had me like come up in the office and they asked me for my receipt for the thing, and I was like, I don't have it. And like, yeah, okay. Like they sent me home. They had me. But see, here's the thing. If you ever get caught stealing at your job, just deny it the whole time. Don't ever give them. Don't ever tell them the truth. Don't ever give them anything in writing, because then they'll get rid of you. You know what I mean? Like my manager when they brought me upstairs, he's like, just be honest with me. Like he hit me with the honesty is always the best policy type thing, being like my friend type thing. And I was like, yeah, I took the bread. It was on a Thursday, and I was like, we get paid tomorrow. When I come in tomorrow, I was going to pay for all this stuff. Like, I was going to leave the bread here, which I did. The bread was in the downstairs. Like, I never left the store. It's just Trader Joe's policy. If you open it before paying for it, technically it's stealing. In their policy, so then they can fire you. You know what I mean? Even though, like, if you came up to me at Trader Joe's and you're like, hey, I've never had this chocolate chip cookie before. And you're like, oh, really? I can just open it up for you.
Really?
Yeah. That's how like I would get away with eating food most of the time, because it's like I would like
I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's that way anymore
Yeah.
because of COVID and shit, but when that was like Trader Joe's thing. Like if you go through people's registers, they usually have a box of cookies or candy open on the register, and they like offer you some. So anytime I was on register, I would just get like whatever candy I like and open it up and just leave it on my register. And half the time nobody else ever ate it. I'm just sitting there eating it or whatever. But yeah,
that's crazy. So Trader Joe's fires you for stealing.
Yeah.
And then do you go to Costco immediately?
No, I went and worked at like some like high-end like fashion store in New York.
Ooh.
Right away, because it was like cool. It didn't pay well, but it was like cool, and I got to do like cool shit. Like I got to be in a fashion show, like a legit fashion show.
Oh wow.
And like Whoopi Goldberg was like there. She saw me in my underwear.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's cool.
He it sounds like Lukas is surrounded by a lot of people.
You've lived a life. I've lived a life, but none of it. It all sounds cool when you're hearing it.
Yeah,
because like you haven't been to New York or you haven't been to LA, so you're like kind of enamored by it. But it was literally like I'm changing out of my clothes and so I'm in my underwear in a hallway, getting ready for this fashion show thing, and Whoopi Goldberg was there. It wasn't like we met each other.
Yeah.
Or we rubbed elbows. It was just literally she's walking by with like her people, like talking to her, like surrounding her like she's the president, and I'm just standing in my underwear as I'm getting dressed. So it's not that cool.
You're pretty comfortable, I feel like, with yourself.
In my underwear? Oh.
Yeah. I feel like you've went from punk music. I guess being in your underwear isn't like too far from, you do that in a punk show probably.
No, I wouldn't. But yeah, people do.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but yeah, so you did a fast, like you were like.
So the clothing store.
Why were you in your? Were you wearing the clothes?
This is a funny story.
They're like, give him your clothes.
The clothing store that I worked at was called Opening Ceremony. It's not around anymore.
Okay.
But it was in New York, and they had one in like L.A. and I think like London, and it's like super expensive, like hipster New York fashion clothes.
Okay.
But not like Prada or Gucci, not like the big name designers. It's like designers you've never really heard of, but they're from like Tokyo or they're from like these weird places, and they make nice clothes, like all like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like eccentric like fashion people stuff. And I always liked the store, so like I went and wanted to work there, and I was in the back of the house was what they called. So I just like tagged clothes, like received clothes and opened them up and stuff. So I worked there, and they always do for any of you non-fashion people here, Fashion Week. It's a big deal. Fashion Week's is like the Super Bowl for fashion.
Do you still watch?
No, I don't like follow stuff, and I never did then either. I wasn't a real fashion guy. I was like a poser fashion guy. I like what I like when I see, and I can put things together because I'm probably like fucking retarded or gay or something. Both. So I can see that, but I don't like, you know what I mean? I don't like know the names of people. I don't like follow. But Fashion Week, so you have like fall, all the seasons, all the seasons. This was supposed to be for like fall, winter, and they do it at like the end of summer or something like that. So Fashion Week at the end of summer. So opening ceremony is doing their fashion show, and they do it at some big like convention center in Manhattan somewhere. I forget where it was. I forget what it was called. And their theme was like Olympics, because they're called opening ceremonies, so they wanted to make it like the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. So like they wanted to get all these different people from these different countries and like represent opening ceremony. And they had the opening ceremonies thing was like they made these custom varsity jackets that said like opening ceremony, and that was like the thing that people would buy, like, you know, the famous people would like buy them. So they made special ones for this thing, and they were all different countries. And I was like, hey, I they like put out to their employees. They wanted the employees to represent them. So I put out for Colombia. I was like, hey, I'm Colombian. Like, I'll do, if you guys don't have anybody to do Colombia, I'll do that. And they're like, cool, you can do Colombia. So when I went to the thing to like check in, they were like, oh, like, so we had a little mix up, and like we already have somebody booked for Colombia, and like they're already here. And I was like, okay. And they're like, but like we don't have anybody for Italy. If you want to do Italy, and I was like, all right. Like, I mean, most people think I'm like Italian or something. Or
Yeah,
like Greek
that's
or
funny.
Whatever. So there's a picture of it on the GQ website, because like GQ was taking all the pictures of all the jackets and stuff. So like I had this like really nice varsity jacket. It's like hand embroidered on the back, all this like Italian shit, like big Italian flag or whatever. Oh. And so our job was when the fashion show opened and they let all the people in, we're like standing, you like walk down this hallway and we're like all standing there with like our country's flags, wearing these jackets. And so as people were like walking in, they're like taking pictures with you and stuff. And all these like Italians are coming up to me, like, putting their arm around me. I don't even know what they say in fucking Italian, but they're like speaking Italian and shit. But like, they didn't tell us like don't break character, but like I just didn't break character. You know, like, I'm not gonna like put my arm around you, and you know I just like stood there with my flag and like as they take pictures with me.
That's so funny, dude. That's crazy. Do you feel more Italian after that?
A little bit. I mean, I definitely got like the card, like the pass. I can say WAP and Guinea. Nice. Swamp Guinea and all that kind of shit. Swamp Guinea might be a black racist one, so you might want to edit that one out. But like, just yeah, I mean, doing like that stupid job, and that night for that fashion show. This is why I was saying like, it sounds like I've lived a cool life, but it's just like all happened to be there, and I wasn't
looking for it.
I wasn't looking for it, and I also wasn't doing anything to like. If I had been doing comedy when I lived in New York and I was on that fashion show, I would have fucking walked up to Whoopi and been like, "What's up, Whoopi?" Like I would have tried to, you know, like. And I did do that. There was an after party, and this was cool because it was the first time I actually felt cool. It was like the type of party. It was at some, I don't know, some club or
Jeffrey
bar.
Epstein's house.
Some club or bar up in Manhattan, like by Union Station, and there was like it was like a, not a red carpet, but it was like a bouncer to get in. There was like a crowd of people who like wanted to get in, but like you had to have like the pass to get in or whatever. So like I got to like cut through people, you know, and go in. But again, it's just because I put tags on shirts for this store.
Wow.
That's it. And so I go there, and there's all these like, my girlfriend was with me. She met me at the party. She's like 10 years younger than me, so she knew all these like Instagram famous people that were there.
Like the one that you're with now?
I don't know who any of these people were back then, but she's like, oh, that's like all these like like influencers and shit like that were like there that were famous. But like Fred Armisen was there.
Okay.
And Natasha, that redheaded girl from she's doing some show right now. It's like pretty famous.
Oh,
Larone, Latasha, something like that. She's in
Okay.
American Pie. She has like red curly hair.
wow.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know of the I don't know her name, but
But
you get to see her too.
they were there, and Fred Armisen. This is another embarrassing story. Fred Armisen is like, he was like in a punk band back in the '80s or something, or like was into punk, or so, there's some connection with him and punk. There was a really funny skit on SNL that he did with like Ashton Kutcher, where they were like a wedding band, but they just did like punk style music. So like there's all these people are like doing a wedding thing, and then they're like like, and it's like funny. This skit's funny on SNL. That's how I knew he was like into punk or whatever.
Okay.
So I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, bring my old band, like bring I had a whole box of like 7-inch records that we put out that I never sold. I was like, bring one of those records with you when you come to the party. So she brought one of my old band's records, and Fred Armisen was at, because him and some other woman, who's the woman he does Portlandia with? You know what I'm talking about?
No,
Whatever.
he might know, but
Fred Armisen and this woman were like the announcers for the fashion show. That's why they were at the party in the first place.
okay.
So I knew he was going to be at the party. So she brought the record. And him and that Natasha woman and some other people, I don't know who he was with. Aziz Ansari was there too. I don't know if he was with them. But they were leaving. And I went up to him and I was trying to talk to him, but like the Natasha girl kind of got in the way. So I ended up like talking to her first. And that was awkward. Because she was like, I had some like stupid story. Because earlier in the night she was wearing a T-shirt that said something about the 2003 New York City blackout. Which I don't even know if you remember that, but there was a blackout that summer. I was there visiting New York when that happened. And my sister had the same shirt that she had. She bought it that night. They were like selling shirts that night in Times Square during the blackout. And my sister had one. I wish she still had it.
How did they have it so quick?
Dude,
How,
I don't know.
dude?
And like people had shirts that night, and I said that to Natasha. It was like loud, you know, like fucking music going on, and she has no idea who I am. I just like came up behind her and said this to her, and she's like, "Oh yeah," and then I was like, "Okay," and I like tapped Fred Armisen on the shoulder, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "You were like in a you lived in Chicago, and like you were in a band. Like I lived in Chicago. I was in a band." I said something stupid like that, and I was like, "I have my record." And I was like, I wanted to give you my band's record. And he was like, oh, cool. And like put it in his bag. And then they left. He probably like threw it in the trash immediately. But
Dude, what if it's his favorite record now?
That'd be great.
Like if you
he needs to tell people about it then if that's the case.
That'd be crazy. If that's like when you blew up because he does like a podcast and he's like, my favorite band's actually like rat throw up from
rat fuck.
Yeah, from Chicago.
And then that's what I like get to be kind of like well known for, but like people still don't like my comedy.
But dude,
still like, yeah,
but so like let me ask you this: if that happened, if something like that like happened, do you have to go back to playing music?
That's what I'm saying. Like that would be my big thing. And like, yeah, sure, I'll do all these like big reunion shows. We're playing these big sold out shows, but then it'll be like, and then special surprise afterwards, he's gonna do 10 minutes of stand up, and everybody leaves.
Dude, that would be.
I'd kill myself.
That would be crazy. Like especially if you're like, I'm gonna give up this life, and then just kicks right back up.
No, I mean, look, I'm.
Do you still play?
No, I didn't play anything. I just sang in bands.
Oh,
I mean, it's like a punk band, so it's like I'm not singing. I'm not like. Ooh.
It's like my mom hates me, making me do chores again.
You know, if any band I was ever in would all of a sudden somehow got famous somewhere, blew up for something, I would definitely do that because it'd be fun. But it's not
It's not
like some people that do stand up. There's a lot of people that come from music, like Tyson Colson. He used to do rap, so it's funny because doing a punk band is not the same thing as being like a rapper. Like most rappers, at least that I've ever met, their whole thing is they want to be known. Like they want to be big, they want to be paid. They braggadocious. The punk thing's like the opposite. The punk thing's like it's cooler to like the best bands have a demo tape and then they break up. Like those are the best fucking bands. You know, like if you're a band, you put out a full album. It's like most of the time that's the only good thing you do.
Yeah.
They're short lived. Those are like the best. Those kind of bands, at least in my opinion. So that's like my mindset going into stand up. It's like
someone made a good
not
point
liked.
online the other day saying something to the effect of like you know, the bands that had one hit wonders were the ones that didn't sell their souls to the
Maybe they sucked.
or
You know? but yes, that's still. I mean, that's still somebody who wants to make it though. Like if any blowing up for the bands I were in would have been like we get to go on these full country tours in America, like, you know, full U.S. tour one summer, and we like break even, you know, like come home with maybe no loss of money, but then you just go back to your job at Trader Joe's, and then that's it. Like that would have been the peak. Pretty much. And then, like, you know, playing the big whatever punk festival that at the time would have been going on, like, just get to, but like still I don't think those bands really make much money.
Yeah,
they're just doing it because it's fun.
I was gonna say I know a few musicians, and a lot of them were punk and stuff like that, and I had one buddy who got to go drum for another guy who got big. He got signed through this contract, and then I know another punk band, Snarls. They also got signed by Take Me to Heart Records or something like that. So, yeah, but they're a little bit more like I don't know how to describe it. Like, cause like I guess you could say they're. I don't know, like, music genres. Like, if I was, like, listening to something, I couldn't tell you if it was, like, the difference between alternative or whatever. I would say that they're probably a little less punk. It's because it's, like, girls mostly. So it's, like, a little bit more, you know what I mean? But it's still got that, like, punk feel to it. And so, like, they've been on the radio and stuff like that a few times. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really... What's the difference between music genres? Like, how does something cross?
Well, it's just like over? Comedy. You know what I mean? Like, there's different types of, like, quote unquote dirty comedy, right? Like, dirty comedy isn't always necessarily just like jerk off jokes or like poop jokes. It could be like, I feel you could do dirty comedy and just be really offensive in the sense of, like, you're saying bad words a lot. But maybe your bits aren't about sex. Maybe your bits are about playing football. But you're just like, this fucking asshole, this fucking, you know, and then that's kind of dirty. So, like, my point of saying that is, like, there's punk as, like, the main banner of music. But then there's, like, things that come off of it. You know, it's like hardcore punk. There's pop punk. There's, you know, whatever. So, comedy's...
And what's pop punk? What's that?
Like Blink-182. You know, Blink-182, Green Day, anything that's popular. But, like, really, it doesn't have to be popular. It's just like a sound.
Is that what that is? Pop is is
pop music is, well, I think, right? Is not pop music is popular, but is what it's short for. But then pop, the word pop itself kind of becomes like a sound.
Yeah.
You know, like when you think of pop music, you think of, like, I don't know, Britney Spears or whatever. You think of pop punk, it's like you think of Blink-182. It's like, you know, feel good, teenage kid music, but like positive, funny.
I didn't know that you were such a musician, Lucas.
I'm not. I don't play anything.
Oh, that's right. You said he just sings. How did you get into that life in the first place? Like, why did you just think it was cool? You just hate the government or something? Like, what? Like,
no, it's funny because now I'm like way more. I don't vote at all. I don't have like I don't have like a political opinion on anything, but my like mannerisms or like things that I like or whatever are more like, I guess, right leaning now, like in the sense of and it all really is just about jokes. Like, I like to be able to make jokes, and it seems now, like today, that most people who are like super left leaning, they get upset when you say certain jokes, and I don't like that.
I think the worst part about that is that it's like, I don't know, they always are trying to ascribe like like you might be talking about something and you might not even be talking about a specific person or something like that, but they might know somebody who's whatever you're talking about, and
so they don't want you to talk about it anymore.
So now it's like you're attacking them somehow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like a lot of times, you know, when you're trying out jokes, you're just trying out jokes, man. Like you're not trying to be hateful or anything. And it's like a lot of times if you are, you'll find out pretty quickly. Like people will let you know. But like at the same time, there's like you were just saying, you know, there's a difference between like them letting you know because they're just like offended for whatever.
And I just don't like hanging out with people like that. It's just not fun. I mean, and I've never liked hanging out with people like that. And that's why, to me, I don't look at it as a political thing. I just look at it as like, ever since I've been a kid, the people who are my friends are the people who
joke around the most.
Joke around, we make fun of each other, we hurt each other's feelings, and like that's it.
Yeah.
And the people who we did not hang out with, the people who we just not then were mean to and picked on, but just like, oh, we don't fuck with that person.
Yeah.
Are the people who went home crying. You know, like, oh, you know, Daniel doesn't like us.
Yeah.
Because we make fun of his stutter. Like, okay, so now, you know, so now he doesn't hang out. I don't know. Like, but it's never, and that's, honestly, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I've burned a lot of bridges that way.
Yeah.
Like, Dusty, who used to do the podcast with us, he doesn't like me because I'm just like, you know, I'm too hard on him. You know, I'm too much of a dick in that sense. But if I'm even giving you the time of day to be a dick to you, that's my way of being like, I like you.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel myself.
It's my way of being like, I trust you and I like you.
I can say the N-word around you. Like, you're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah. If I don't talk to you, it's because I don't trust you.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. There's room to earn the trust. And it's like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm cool, you have to earn my trust.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know, maybe I've had bad relationships with people. Maybe I've experienced bad relationships with people, so it's like, maybe that's my defense, you know, to be like, oh, like, I thought we were friends, but you fucking, like, did this, so we're not really friends. So maybe now I'm a little more cautious of, like, you know, who I really open up to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people have other intents, you know, or their intent isn't the same thing as yours.
Yeah.
And so you get your wires crossed and you're like, oh, I thought we were better friends than what we were. And it's like, not really.
Yeah. A lot of times people are just like, not a lot of times. It's just like, you know, sometimes people, you know, are friends with you for, you know, an end goal. Maybe not to always like sleep with somebody or whatever, but, you know, oh, if I'm friends with this guy, it gets me closer to a job promotion, or oh, hey,
especially in comedy,
this guy hangs out with Whoopi Goldberg in his underwear, I might get a chance.
But see, that's exactly why I have a bunch of stories I can tell you about things, but like, I feel like comedians, most comedians would jump at any opportunity to tell the stories I've told you, like some crazy story they've had about Whoopi Goldberg. You know, they turn it into a bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like that because it literally it was nothing.
Yeah.
It'd be like you saying, oh, I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger at the Arnold convention here in Columbus. It's like, okay.
My foster dad actually used to do security for him.
See, there you go. That could be your story.
And it's actually funny because he was the guy that told me that he's actually a lot shorter than you think he is.
Yeah, I saw him in Columbus once at that thing.
Was he short?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said
you think he's like a 6 foot something guy, but he's like I don't think he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
Maybe he used to be, but
yeah, maybe. My dad used to be 6 foot, and now he's not. I don't know how that works.
He's a midget now.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen him. You know, diabetes really does cut down your height.
What? Why he lose his feet?
Just one.
Really?
Just the one leg. Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. But hey, Mountain Dew will do that to you.
As you're drinking it.
Yeah. In solidarity for my dad. You know, pour one out for him. So, dude, Lucas, anything else that you'd like to share with us? You got any cool shows coming up soon? You got any?
I did a Don't Tell show for the first time.
Oh shit! First time
weekend.
Ever?
Yeah.
Was it Columbus?
No, of course not. Who am I? Tyson Colson? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dayton. Yeah, I don't know how you get on Don't Tell. Mm-hmm. Every single person who I know who's a regular on Don't Tell, either they don't tell you how to do it or they don't really know.
Yeah.
because there's a thing on the website.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on there and like email them, submit something. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't know how many times you've ever emailed or submitted things to like clubs and Snap. But a lot of times you don't ever get a response back or anything.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know if they even saw your tape. You know, I've submitted to Don't Tell, and you like pick all the cities that you're available for, and I've never heard anything back. I think it's all just word of mouth. You know, somebody who does it vouches for you.
Yeah.
The woman who hit me up for Dayton, I met her at the Attic one night here in Columbus. She mentioned that she did Don't Tell, but I have a hard time trusting people and like believing people. So when she said that, I was just like, okay. Like in my head, I was like, I don't know you. Like you could be totally lying to me. I have no idea who you are. But whatever. Point is, she ended up hitting me up and asked me, and she told me that Neff like had given her a couple names of comedians and stuff that she should hit up or whatever, and she hit me up. So that's my knowledge on how you get on Don't Tell. Is someone has to vouch for you.
I was gonna say I think I know who does here.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was gonna say I don't know, like, because to my knowledge, like it's up to him.
Yeah.
Or whoever's like running it.
I
Last time it was Simon.
It's Henry now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's nobody seems to know.
Yeah.
Or if they do know, they don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
The thing that I will say, and then we can end it, whatever you want to do. But I think a good rule of thumb is like just don't burn bridges with people as much as you can, and don't like if you're starting out doing comedy, don't think that like the stuff you do now isn't gonna matter once you like are a killer.
Yeah.
Like don't be like, oh, I can like disrespect this club and like talk shit about these people because when I make it, they're gonna be begging me to come back here and play this place, because like that might never happen.
Yeah.
And you might, if you were cool with them in the first place and you stayed cool with them, you might get some opportunities, and you could turn those opportunities.
Well, not just that, but like the big thing too is that like comedy club owners, they fucking talk to each other.
Right.
So it's like, yeah,
if you are a shithead somewhere, someone else is gonna know about it too.
Yeah.
And I have my theories as to why I like am not allowed on or don't get asked to Don't Tell shows here in Columbus or whatever,
Okay.
or the Funny Bone. I mean, I worked at the Funny Bone 2 different times and quit both times, like in shitty ways. Like I just like quit, just like I quit. And each time, like Henry kind of spoke for me in getting the job. So it's like I feel like I've set these like vibes out there that I'm not professional.
Yeah.
And I wasn't then.
Yeah.
I think if there's one thing I'm doing a lot better in comedy and stuff like now is like I'm way more professional about it now. You know, like not that I was ever unprofessional. I wasn't like an alcoholic drinking and partying.
Yeah.
I'm professional in my attitude.
Yeah.
I had like a bad attitude, and I still have a bad attitude, but I can like keep it in check.
Yeah. That's like one of the biggest things that I think I've learned from, the people that have given me opportunities is that like, just like respect, show up on time. Yeah. Don't, if they ask you to not do something, try not to, you know what I mean? If like, they're like, hey, this is a special needs like crowd.
When you're getting work, it's not really the time to be like a rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously read the room. If it's calls to be a rebel, then be a rebel. But like, that like, when I first started doing stand up, I listen to podcasts and people say stuff like that. Be professional. And I always think in the back of my head, like, if I got up there, I'd be like, fucking suck my cock and be the fucking punk rock guy. And like, no, but like, I mean, if you want, like, that could work for you.
Yeah.
But typically it's not going to.
Yeah. Dude, well, Lucas, fucking love you, dude. That was dude, I love listening to all your stories. I was unaware of all of the famous people that you were.
Now this is the part of the podcast where I'm gonna rob you guys.
Oh shit, dude. At least get this part on tape. So then
now that I got the ski mask on, my identity is concealed.
You can go take out CEOs.
Yeah. No, I'm pro CEO. We're pro CEO.
Pro CEO.
If you own a company and you own people, that's cool. I'm into that. And you fucking control people's lives and destiny and whether they have insurance or not.
Oh, shit. All right, guys. That was Lukas Mateus. Thanks for listening to this episode of Help I'm High and Can't Get Down. We'll see you guys next episode.
Yeah.